The main conflict in the history of the Avengers is the dystopian society that Veronica Roth recreated in The Avengers. She proposed the separation of society to try to eradicate evils, lies, selfishness, cowards, war, conflict, and ignorance. Society is divided into abnegation, true ones, tameless, healthy, and scholars. What causes the conflict is when an act is performed and it is decided according to what the aptitude test determines, what their personality is, and where they are going to spend the rest of their life. And what is the turn of the protagonist Beatrice Pure, the result of her is a avenger that is suitable for more than one faction. And since the goal of faction separation is control of society, being as a avenger is dangerous, since they could distort the order that erudite things find. In the field, there are two conflicts, on the one hand between erudite and abnegation, since abnegation deals with the government, but erudite plans a coup due to abnegation attitude in enforcing the law.
It, it seems to me turning point of the story. The divergent include abnegation with some and in Tripoli, Tori makes a record of the test and plays its abnegation and give her warning not to tell anyone the true result to her test, saying that because the divergent person can feel their one and is not rule B anymore, and because the government cannot have the control over them, she considers them as several dangers to the existing social order. When the times come to choose anyone to grow, he was going to stay in her parents' faction, but she decides to change faction and it faces with a new changes. Even if there is no resolution as such, by the end of the story, the manages to use her knowledge that fears a weakness him from the mind control, and the two enter the central control room, where the scholar leader, Jenny, is about to have the intrepid army, the entire abnegation faction. Threes use it and same of the mind control serum of her to force to her cancel the program. The group escape. In my opinion, is complex. Beatrice was born and raised in abnegation faction, but she chooses intrepidly because she feels that who she really is. However, her aptitude test was inclusive and she is divergent. And destination that a mystery but also dangerous. Once in Intrepid, she started over under a new name, Tris. She is strong, courageous, and the proponent the show workness, particularly during her intonation. While she thrives in her new faction, she still feels strong ties to the family she left behind.
Traits of main character Beatrice Prior, the narrator and the protagonist of Divergent. She is a smart and stoneboard 16 years old girl. Demonstrates throughout the test to enter one of the faction a mixture of curiosity and selfishness. Strong and brave, but after entering the Osadia faction, her personality changes, become a brave and psychology stronger, strong temper, being a changing character as the movie progresses and the different events make it change constantly. The main character changes. The main character is one of the most Sean Abel in the movie, being a teenager who was humble and intelligent. The achievement of entering one of the factions caused Tris to have many changes in both her personality and her abilities. Throughout the movie, her mentally about surviving within the faction. Tris encounters a series of obstacles that make her strength even harder to say. She shows more confidence and perseverance. What step does she go through to change? Tris, she opts for a change of name, overcoming her fears, fighting for a place in the faction. She gets increasingly better at expressing herself confidently over the course of training. She also learns to trust her skills and impulse. What Tris does learn? Searching for or reinforcing the idea of finding oneself and reinforcing one's own identity about where we belong. Tris is a clean example of this, fighting to remain in a faction where she is supposed to fit. In the course of the film, her character learns to deal with the problems and take edge obstacles or mistakes as a starting point to refine your identity.
And looks for her answer in the test they give to all the young people to go out into society, hoping that the test there is a clue of what she wanted to be, but in the end, the test didn't help her but gave her more doubts. So she proceeded to join the group she admired as a child, and that's when she realizes why the test didn't work and knows that she is different from the rest, which puts her in danger. The story shows us how the behavior of each individual can be, which influence a lot in society, and that as human beings we put levels on ourselves. People who don't comply with a level see it as inequality. There are also some moral issues, such as the isolation of a society within a world in which people are divided into groups, in which people choose a group and separate themselves from their family in order to survive in that social group. And if they don't fit in that social group, they are excluded and cannot join any other group. Another situation is when there are people with different thoughts and ways of solving things, which leads them to death for not fitting in because of others are afraid of their way of thinking, so they try to fit in to go unnoticed. This story also tells us that people change to fit into a social group and not be excluded. Also, they change because they realize that things shouldn't be the way they are, and they want to have freedom in their thoughts